Hello, this is the third video in a series that I'm doing for my graphic novel students. I'm showing you how to complete the annotated bibliography assignment, and I thought it would be useful to do separate videos for some of the different topics. So the first one I talked about how to find good sources, the second one I talked about how to write notes about a source that you found, and in this one I'm going to talk about how to collect the metadata and add this item to our collective bibliography. And this is a good one. I'm going to actually use this article that I just wrote a note for because it's actually a good example of how you do need to do a little bit of work to it to make sure you have all the information you need in order to cite it. So this is it. Let me try it here. Actually, let me check something before I try Zotero. The citation, yeah, it sort of works, sort of doesn't. Okay, never mind. So Zotero is giving me this little pop-up right here, and it's offering to save to Zotero. You can't see the pop-up, but it's asking me to save to Zotero. So I'm going to click that, and you should see this here, saving to Zotero.org, and that looks so good, but we're going to need to do some more work, I think. So let's take a look. Here it is, and this is my demo account. This isn't my real account, but you can kind of see part of the issue here, which is that this one doesn't look like the other ones because I've completed the information for these other ones, but not for these. And what you can see, the problem here is actually a couple things. First of all, Zotero did not recognize that this was an article, and so it did not collect the appropriate metadata, the things that we need to know about this in order to fully cite it. Things like the author's name, the publication's name, the volume and issue number, the URL for it. Like all these things are necessary to create a complete citation according to MLA style, but also just for it to be useful. So let's take a look at it here. So the main thing is this is called a web page, and this thing that I just read is not a web page. I mean, it is. I mean, in a basic sense, that's what it is, but it's a journal article. That's the kind of thing it is. So when I go to this item type field, if I click this, I get some options, and I need to look for the appropriate option. Now, this is a journal article. This is published in a scholarly journal, image text, and so that's what kind of thing I'm reading here. The title, let's see if the title is correct. The title is correct, Chick Tracts, Monstrosity, and Pornography. Great. Now, I have all this other information. I know the author's name, I know the volume and issue number, but I don't see those. I'm using the web interface for Zotero, and I believe this is, well, I think the idea is that they're trying to simplify it the way it's presented to you, but in fact, on the desktop version, you should see lots of empty fields that you can fill in. On the web version, you don't seem to see those until you click on this option over here to show empty fields, and now we have all these options. So things that are important, like the author name, publication, etc., these are now available for me to fill in here now that I've clicked on that. So let's get this information. So the author's name, Anastasia Ilanowicz. Now I'm going to do these last name, first name, so that I can make sure these are separate. As you see, the field prompts you for which is which, so we'll do last name there, and first name here. Now, sometimes Zotero will do a much better job in terms of collecting the metadata, but you still need to check it because it's not perfect and it's doing its best given very different ways of organizing websites and presenting metadata. So I'm filling in the journal title here, Interdisciplinary Comics Studies. Is it comic or comics studies? I should know. I worked on this journal. So anyway, so that's correct. In fact, I made this this graphic right here that they're still using as their logo. So I should know what its full title is. Okay, so then the volume is volume 8, number 1 from volume 8. So good. So we'll go down here and we'll say volume 8, issue 1. This is a web journal, so we don't have page numbers, so we can skip that. Let's see what the date is. This is, I don't have a date here. So 2015. Let's see if we can get more specific than that. These are usually published once a year. Let's see. I think if not, 2015 is good enough. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Good. So we will go with 2015 for that because that's the date I could find, and I'm pretty sure that's correct. And it's good enough, certainly, because the URL is mainly how we're going to access this. All right, so we could add some more things here if we wanted to. You know, the ISSN, you know, why not? This is not published with a DOI, although they should get those. They should get DOIs. Okay, so that's good enough. There are a few other things that in some cases you may have this information for different different kind of sources, but if you don't have it, that's fine. I mean, do your best, right? Take a look at it and do your best. Now, I will look at your sources. If you're a student in my class, you submit this, I will see what you've submitted, and if there's information missing that is readily available, then I would note that in my grade. It's something that would be missing. So make sure you actually look at it, make sure you do your best to find everything you can. But I think that's pretty good for this article. Now, within Zotero, I need to add my notes. So I'm going to go here where it says Notes and click on the Add Note button. And now it gives me an editor where I can type if I want, or in this case, I've already written my notes as I covered in the last video. So I'm just going to go over here and copy it. Control C to copy it, and then Control V to paste it, and there we go. Pretty good. You could do a couple of things to format this if you'd like. I'm honestly not that worried about the formatting. I'm more interested in the content. I guess you should make clear that this, for example, this is a quote, and I indicate it with that symbol there. But there's probably a way within here, yeah, the quote button there. That's just going to indicate that that's a quote. Oh, you know what? It just grabbed everything and made everything a quote. That was not my intention. Let's see. Can I do it this way? Well, I don't know. Their little editor here is not giving me all the options that I wanted. So I'm going to just make that italics so that it's clear that that's a quote, or hopefully it's clear enough. And so that's it. That's my note. Now, something I have discovered is that the next step of adding it to the Zotero bibliography is the group bibliography is a little bit odd. So let me show you how to do this. It's got a surprising element to it, which is that I need to click and drag. And so if I click this, I can drag it over here and drop it onto the group library. But there is a problem, and you can't see the problem yet. Let me show you what the problem is, though. If I click on the group library, I can see lots of items that you all have been adding, and I have added as a couple of demonstrations. But here's the item I just annotated. I can double check that, yep, it's got the same information, the metadata is there. However, my note is not there. It does not carry over notes when you add them to the group library. And I kind of understand why, but it's certainly something that there's no signal that it doesn't say anything about that as you drag it across. So this is something you definitely need to add, and it's not that big a deal in the sense that you can just copy and paste, but it is something that you definitely need to make sure you do. If I'm missing a note from you, then I will probably just ask for it, but save me the time by doing that. Okay. All right, so that's I think that's all I needed to recommend. I do see a few things that I would recommend you changing, some of you in these, like for example, if it's so this is the articles don't need to start with the word article, right? So make sure you do that correctly and take those kind of things out. Again, that's cleaning up the metadata. All right, so I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have questions, please ask. I'd be happy to help you figure this out, but let's get this annotated bibliography nice and well formatted, well organized, and well annotated so that it can be a good resource for you as you get ready to complete your final project for the class. Okay, thanks. Bye.